If the stress of being in debt and staying in debt is keeping you up at night and just causing all these problems with you, I'm going to be going through this framework of how finding just an extra one of these, an extra $100 a month, is going to help you at least reduce that stress, okay? And it's going to be what I did to pay off my own $43,000 of debt in 13 months. It's the same exact thing. But before we get into that, we have to talk about what we do in these videos. So I'm building my personal finance community in public daily with these videos. So the first thing I like to do is just go through any YouTube comments. Think of it like a YouTube Q&A. I want to just provide instant value to you guys. The next thing is, thoughts in my mind to help you reach your financial goals faster, and is probably the reason why you clicked on this video, how just $100 a month can reduce your debt stress. Yeah, how can only just one of these do that? We're going to talk about that. And then maybe at the end, we will talk about some community activity, things that will are important to you, I think, and updates and stuff inside the community. So if you're not interested, come check it out here, Dollar Discipline University. It's a free personal finance community helping people save more, pay off debt, just get more confidence with your money stuff. All right. So links down below, school.com/debt. So let's talk about it. Let's just dive right into it. $100 a month. How could that possibly reduce your stress? Well, let's go to my software here. It's called Wealthway. And I'm actually going to move myself. I've learned this from previous recordings that my big fat head is in the way. So what I'm going to do is make this a little larger. This is a debt tracking and budget software that is exclusive inside my community. I literally created this by myself after speaking to dozens and dozens and dozens of people in their personal finances. Trying out other budgeting stuff and debt stuff, and just trying to make something better for everyone. So the thing that I'm most proud of is easily the debts tab here. But it also has, you have budgeting things, okay? So we have all like budgeting stuff, dashboard. We have a transaction list here where we can literally, it's like an Excel sort of thing where you can sort of filter through things, okay? But let's talk about the debts, because that's why we're here, right? How do we get $100 to make this more beneficial for us, right? Just $100. So you didn't have to watch me enter all the debt information. I have a debt list here, okay? I've entered 3 different debt types. What you can do is, if you're new to Wealthway and you're just kind of signing up to it, which you have to be in my community to do, you go to add debt, and you could just basically fill out the stuff here. Creditor type, so this could just say credit card, this could say Amex, this could say whatever you want, because this is for you. The current balance, the interest rate, what the minimum payment is, and what your current monthly payment is, okay? So I did that for all 3 of these. And what's cool is you can actually edit this later on. So if you're like, oh, oops, this is actually 26,000, right? Or whatever the thing is. Or you can delete it if you made a mistake. I'm not going to do that, but you can do that. So this is just kind of step 1. This is what I call just like awareness. Okay, so what's the deal here? What are we doing with our debt? What's the problem? How much do we have? What are the interest rates? A lot of people don't even know, which is, it's understandable, I suppose. They know like the rough balance. They don't really know the interest rate, and they most likely know how much they're paying each month for it. But once you see all of this, it's a little more helpful. Now, here's where the power of this comes into play, the power of $100. And yes, this is a real $100 bill. It's not a prop. So my wife's like, why are we putting that in our bank account? I don't know. I show it in my YouTube videos every once in a while. So that was the debt list. The payment calculator is now really where the fun begins. And yes, I am saying fun, okay? So up here, it sort of gives us a little summary of what's going on. So our starting debt amount, if we go back to our debt list, 25 plus 30 plus 10 equals $65,000, okay? This payment calculator is going to be our little playground for how to figure out if we apply more money towards our debt, what's going to happen. So before we do that, let's go through some of the sections here just to show you it. We have a debt payoff strategy section. It's just a quick little reminder in case either you're new to this or you just need a refresher. Hey, like what are the top couple strategies? Well, there's the debt snowball strategy, where you put extra money towards the smallest balance first. It's basically the smallest loan amount that you have. You pay minimums on everything else, right? And that builds momentum, motivation through quick wins, because ideally the benefit here is that you're going to be paying off the first loan faster because it's the smallest, right? That's great. Now the avalanche method is basically the same, except now we're putting the extra money towards the highest interest rate. So the benefit here is it's going to save you the most money because interest is the killer when it comes to being in debt and staying in debt, okay? and we're going to go over this in a minute, but let's say this was your debt, for example, and you're walking around thinking, oh, wow, I have $65,000 of debt. That's a lot, right? Well, what you don't do, and let's go to the section down below here, is we don't think about the interest that's associated with that based on how much we're paying. So sure, we have $65,000. Here's our interest rate and our monthly payments that we're making. But now we have two new fields. We have total interest and our debt-free date. Now, this is even more awareness. It's like, so what I'm doing, with the stuff that I'm inputting, meaning like the dollars I'm putting towards the debt, this is the outcome. So yes, you're walking around with $65,000 of debt, but you forgot to add up the total interest on top of that. So if we add this up here, this is alone is 65, 66,000, 60, we'll call it $68,000 of interest. So basically the interest is more than the debt amount. So what is that math? Like over $130,000. So that's the number in your head that you should be like, oh my God, I'm walking around with $130,000. If I just do this thing where I'm making minimum payments, right? Let's just assume these are minimum payments of $950. It's like, oh wow, okay. And the debt-free date is June 2037. So based on when I'm recording this, that's 12 years from now. It's like, oh wow, like, okay, I'm very serious about paying off my debt, but 12 years is not that good. We've just built this awareness thing, and now we know the time frame. Now we know how much money is actually going to be coming out of our wallets. Our hard-earned money is going to someone else, right? We're making someone else a lot wealthier, and all this money is just going away, right? So how the heck do we even go about this? Well, let's test with the payment calculator. Let's just test an extra $100. So as you can see, I'm going to start typing, and some stuff's going to be happening below. You're going to see this number changing. So it's updating in real time. So now it thinks I'm adding an extra $1. Now it thinks I'm adding an extra $10. Now it thinks I'm adding an extra $100. Okay. So you'll see down here, we added this new strategy comparison. This is pretty cool. Let's go take a look. So now, we don't need to click through each of the strategies. It's just going to pop up here and say, okay, what's the best strategy for me? Because everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to want a different strategy. So this just shows the top line stats of everything. So if we were to add an extra $100 a month using the snowball method, here's the amount of interest we would have. Here's the total time it would take to pay off our debt, so our debt-free dates. And then here's the total amount paid in total. So if we go to the avalanche method, it's going to show us the same thing, the total interest, the total time, and the total paid. Now what you'll notice, before I get into the next part of this, now we're saying $108,000 is the total paid. Remember, when we had $0 here, it was, what was it, $68,000 of interest. And then when we add the $100, looking at the avalanche method, now it's $43,000. So an extra $100 per month saved us $25,000 in about 3 years of being stressed about debt. That seems pretty worth it. Now, you would argue that maybe 2034, 9 years from now, still isn't that impressive. But what this is showing you is like, okay, I need to maybe have more inputs. I need like more dollars. I need to be able to figure out how to generate more cash flow. I need to be able to maybe increase my skills in my workplace. I need to be able to maybe learn a new skill because where I am right now, like there's no growth or something like that, right? Like you have to it really gets you starting to think about, how can I just need more cash flow? So how can I do that? Well, we can look at our expenses. So that's the first and fastest way. And it's this framework called, a couple frameworks, the 3-month look back process. So how this works is we go back 3 months with our expenses. So I'm going to do a little drawing thing here. 3-month look back. Let's make this black so it's not as intense here. Okay, 3-month look back. So what you do is I have all these tools inside the community, by the way. So let's say you want to do June, July, August, for example, not Jolt. And I guess it would more be like this. Sorry. Let's just space these out a little bit. Great. And then over here, this is where we have all of our expense categories. Man, I can't type today. Categories. Okay, and these go like all the way down. And you basically just look at, okay, how much did it cost me for groceries? How much did it cost me for utilities? How much, I don't know, do you have childcare? Whatever the thing is, right? You go through all this, and then at the end, we have an average. So I'm going to just do this, average. And then we look at, oh, wow, over the last 3 months, I spent this much in groceries. I spent this much in subscriptions. I spent this much in shopping. And you could just sort of see. And then you take this framework, the 3-month look back. It's so hard to draw with a mouse. And you combine that with another framework called North Star Goals. Golas. North Star Goals. And what you do here, you do something similar where you write down a list of 2, 5, 10 things. Doesn't matter. So think 1, 2, 5, right? It doesn't matter. All the way down. What are the most important things in your life right now? What are some life goals that you want to have happen? What are some financial things you want to have happen right now? What are some long-term financial goals? And also maybe what are some non-negotiables? So you can think through all of those things. Write down a list of your North Star goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be in order of like, hey, what's my most important? What's my next important? But just get a list. And then again, it's just creating awareness for us. And then we look at this list. Let's do green. We'll look at this list. And is it aligning to the averages and stuff that we're seeing? So like, is where our money's going aligning to the things that we say matter to us the most? In most cases, if you've never done this exercise, the answer will be absolutely not. And that's okay, because every month is a new opportunity to improve, right? So let's go back to Wealthway here. So down here, you'll see that some stuff changed, which is cool. And we were able to see this in our total interest, like how much it is. But now our total interest is way less, right? Our debt-free date, we're saving 3 years. And it's showing us, okay, based on the Avalanche method, this is where that extra $100 should be going, because this is the highest interest rate, the credit card for this example. And, then it goes in order of highest to lowest, and this is how you would pay it off. So the strategy comparison gets very cool because it shows you, and I haven't seen this in other places, but it shows you the benefit to each plan. That way, if you're really not sure of which to do, you have to just kind of decide. But this gives you a lot of framework. So for you, if it's like, oh, wow, $11,000 of interest I save using, the Avalanche method, whereas the Snowball, you pay off that first debt 25 months faster. That's 2 years, okay? So for you, you have to look at it like, which one seems more important? Now, what I've seen some people do to get the quicker win, and again, $10,000 isn't going to be a quick win. That's going to take some time. But like, just use this as an example. Some people have done, hey, let me pay off the smallest loan first, and then let me tackle the highest interest rate. So how that would look, and it's like, well, how do I calculate all that? Well, I built this custom button over here because I assumed that most people wouldn't want to just box themselves into Snowball Avalanche, because I had $43,000 of debt. It was 12 loans, okay? 12, it was so many. And I would say our focus was the Snowball, but I think it was a little more like kind of a custom strategy. But we all have, like, when we're paying off debt, we all have that 1 or 2 loans where it's like, oh man, this is just a pain in the butt, this debt. Like, it's just a pain. Like, I just want to get rid of it. So that's why I built this. It's like, you don't have to lock yourself into one of these. You can build your own. So let's say, for example, you wanted to do that. Hey, let's pay off the smallest one first. And then I want to pay off the highest interest rate. And then we pay off the one, whatever, the last one. So now what happens? Oh, that's interesting. Let me switch this around so I have different results here. There we go. Yeah, perfect. So now what happens is we have a strategy comparison with 3 different sort of top line numbers that we're looking at here. So the Snowball, here's all the stats for that. We already saw that. The Avalanche, here's all the stats. Now the custom strategy, here's all the stats for that. And what this strategy comparison is doing on the custom tab up here is it's comparing the custom to the Avalanche method and the Snowball method. Now, this is just showing the Avalanche method because it's going to be the same impact. We are paying the smallest loan first. on the snowball and the custom. So just to give you an idea, but you can see here the total paid is different between all three of these, which is cool. It's just showing you, hey, there's different ways to go about this. And it's going to say that the Avalanche would save $16,000 in interest compared to your custom strategy. So now it's like, well, can I like play around with this custom strategy a little bit? Like, what if I did this one first? I paid off this one. Is that going to give me a better result? Right? And it just sort of goes, you can kind of just play around with this. If you're focusing on the dollars, you can simply just look here. If you're looking at the, like, hey, how fast am I going to pay it off? You can do that as well. They all have different debt-free dates. So it's just a really cool way to really play around with it, right? So now that we know, okay, $100 is going to save me $25,000 in total. It's going to save me 3 years of stress, which is great. What happens when I just keep doing this and I keep going up with this? Let's say I'm adding an extra $250 a month now, okay? What is that? What happens there? Well, now I actually forgot the original number. Oops. No, silly. All right. So let's look at the number again. So for the Avalanche, the interest is $43,000. And if I do $250, now it's $30,000. So going from $0 extra dollars to $250, we've basically saved, what was that, $38,000 from 68 in interest to 30. So this just keeps leveling up over time. And now you're looking at it like, oh, wow, okay, 2032, like, huh. And then we get into the point of like, okay, how do I just keep increasing this? Because this is like super motivating to see that as I increase this, it doesn't like linearly, it's not a linear, there we go. Whew, sorry, it's 5:56 in the morning. Linear, it's not linear, it's really it's a compounding growth, because it's, again, we're dealing with interest. So the faster we can get rid of it, the faster we're going to be paying this thing off. So you can go all the way up and be like, huh, what would $1,000 a month do extra? And it reduces it even more. Right now we're cooking. Now it's like, oh, wow. So it all comes back to sort of this process. And I have other videos in the channel sort of going much deeper into this process. I didn't want to focus too much on this. Inside the community, I go way deeper. We actually have a cash flow kickstart, and it talks about this in like super detail, like super detail. It's a 2-day free event, and it's really to help you find, kind of figure out where your money's been going, how to realign your money to the things that matter to you the most, and how to keep that momentum month after month. So it goes so deep. I just started it. Any new member can join this. I'm basically running one every single week. Kind of switching up the cadence here just to see like when people can attend. And it's really structured for the Americas right now. So I apologize for any non-America's continent, but I can only work with what the time constraints that I have at the moment. So that if you want to go way deeper, make sure to check that out. But back to this here. So just super cool. You can go all the way up through this. And now let's just go back to $100 really quickly. Now that we know, like, okay, like, got it, understood, I have the awareness now. Now I need to take the action and sort of do more things. That's where this comes into play, like the action, like what can I do? But to kind of play around with this a little more in Wealthway, what you can do is go up to the payment schedule. And this is sort of another way just to look at it. So if we go to, it's another calculator section here. So you can add your dollars, add your extra dollars. The payment strategy, you can select whichever one you want to do. So let's just stick with the Avalanche method. And then summary or detailed. So let's just say like we want to do the Avalanche. We want to test out the $100. This just gives us a look of, okay, how is this going to look monthly for me based on my payment schedule? So it's going to literally show you every single month for the next however many years until everything's paid off. So you can see what's happening here is when we do the Avalanche, the priority is the credit card. So $500 a month was our original minimum payment, okay? And the extra $100 that we're doing is applying to the credit card. Very cool. So it's showing you, hey, it's $500 plus the $100. So what happens when we go all the way down? We're going to figure out when it gets paid off. And then you could see this transfer point here to here. And now this $600 is going over to this one, which is the next one that we're going to prioritize. So we're seeing the $350 a month, which is here, plus $600. So now that $600 is applying here. So once a debt's paid off, we don't like upgrade our life. We don't buy things with it. We don't go on vacation. We put the money towards the next thing, and think of it as a non-negotiable for you, where it's like, okay, now I freed up $600 to roll into this next one. And that's how the wins keep stacking and stacking and stacking. Because now at the end, look at this. Well, that gets paid off. And then, we throw this $950 onto this $100 that we've been paying for years and years and years, and now we're throwing over $1,000 at this one debt. So this is how the wins stack up. So you can look at it like that, or detailed schedule by debt. So I just thought that this would be cool to kind of give a little deeper, so you can look at each debt individually. It doesn't go towards the end, right? Because there's more payments in here and stuff like that, but it just gives you a really good framework of like, one, what's the breakout of maybe a payment, what the interest is, what the principal is, because I think it's very frustrating for a lot of us when we make a $600 payment and realize that 458 of it is going towards interest. Very annoying. So that's why it's more motivation to like, man, I gotta stop making other people rich. I gotta like figure out how to pay this off faster. This is how we pay it off faster. This is how you you put more, you increase your net worth by decreasing your debt. So debt is the least efficient thing that we can do with our money. And I'm saying that from experience because I've had, tens of thousands of dollars of debt, of non-mortgage debt. And it's just such a waste of money. So I understand why it happens, why things need to happen, but we got to get out of it. If we want to actually reach our goals, we have to get out of it. So this is basically, in a nutshell, everything that I share inside the community. And I have this progress tab too, which is just a little way to sort of see things a little differently. Okay, so if I go to, you can toggle the months here. I don't have any payments in September. That's why it's not showing much. So let's say in August, I made some payments. So it's showing, hey, the starting balance was this. And you can actually see I started this in July, just for an example. So that's showing the starting balance. And then it's going to show us the current balance because a principal payment was made here. And then if I go to August, the August starting balance is going to be the ending balance of July. So you can sort of track this month over month, and just by clicking on one of the tabs here. So it's kind of keeps it up to date for you, which is really helpful. And then just some things that might be painful to look at in the beginning, right? But it's like, how much progress am I making? Seeing 0.6% is very deflating, but just know that you literally can't pay off $25,000 of debt without paying off the first $142, right? I mean, you have to just make progress. So don't look at, oh my God, how am I going to pay off $25,000? Figure out, how can I find an extra $100 to actually make this work for me and pay it off even faster. So again, projected debt-free date. There's a lot of stuff in here. This is software, again, that's exclusive to my personal finance community. So make sure to jump in there and make sure to check out the cash flow kickstart. I'm really excited about this. Obviously everyone's results are going to be different, but I've just highlighted some major wins in here of people that have gone through this exact same process while working with me. And they were, Angie was able to pay off $20,000 of debt in a year. Zane went from negative monthly cash flow to paying off $5,000 debt in 3 months. And Janine just took 30 days to pay off one credit card, which was over $1,000. It was a credit card that she thought would take months and months and months to pay off. And then she went through this framework and was like, oh, I could actually just get rid of this right now. Right? So very cool. I'm making these videos daily, guys. So if there's anything, oh, you know what I forgot to look at the YouTube comments. There aren't any. I knew that before the video. That's why I didn't dive in. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, trying to figure out where your money's been going, trying to figure out how to realign it to the things that matter to you the most, and then how to keep that momentum, all these things are important. Basically, the people that I've spoken with, it sounds like whenever they join, they're lacking one of these things. A lot of times it's either this, where your money's been going, or how to keep that momentum. So it's either, I have no idea, I need to get a grip on my finances, figure out where my money is going, or how to keep that momentum month after month. It's like, oh, I keep trying and stopping and trying and stopping. I haven't found anything that actually works. So if that's you, make sure to check out everything in here. I'm doing these videos daily again, so I will see you tomorrow.